definitely in home renovation on a daily basis, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of leads a day, and then certainly millions a month.
Hey, I'm Karl, your host for Beyond the Toolbox, and today I'm here with Ruben Ugarte from Active Prospect, the staple for compliance in this industry. And if you don't understand compliance, this is going to be hopefully a wake-up call for you. But Ruben, could you please introduce yourself as the GM of Home Services?
Yeah. Well, thanks for taking time and featuring myself and Active Prospect here on your home service podcast. My name is Ruben Ugarte. I'm the general manager of home services for Active Prospect. Active Prospect, we are a Austin-based SaaS brand. We service over 250 installation companies nationwide. I've been with the company for 7 years, several years as GM, and we support home service, both buyers, installation companies, as well as sellers, publishers in the lead generation space and home improvement with lead management, compliance, intelligent lead routing, data, and we've grown, and we're excited to share more about what we do here on your podcast.
100%. And I remember looking through some old podcasts. You used to be a marketing manager for a solar company. You used to sell roofing and solar. So you definitely have the experience to back it. You're not just the SaaS guy who has the compliance and the lead routing. So I was just curious on what you do over at Active Prospect. I was shocked to understand that probably 5 years ago, nobody knew you guys. So what is your role at Active Prospect?
Yeah. So in terms of, the company's been around for a long time. We kind of joke it's a long-term startup. Company's been around for about 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Trusted Form is going on, 14 or so years. It's considered kind of like the gold standard for TCPA compliance in the lead gen space. We're a MarTech, so we focus, once again, on lead management, top of funnel when you capture a lead. Filtering, whether it's duplicate check, out of area, geo check. You can program your internal do not call list inside of our system programmatically. You can get compliance tokens via Trusted Form or Jornaya ID. And then you can route your data to any endpoint, whether it's a CRM, a dialer, an SMS provider, an AI tool. And so we've become kind of the MarTech middleware of choice for the home improvement industry, thankfully. And, we work with large national enterprise brands like Leave Home and ADT. But our big focus has been really on smaller brands and folks who are anywhere between 500 to 1,000 leads a month as well, which is the majority of home improvement companies here in the U.S.
Okay. And I remember when I spoke with it was Kyle, one of the representatives over at Active Prospect. I was actually mind blown that there was more than just Trusted Form on Active Prospect. So could you also, a little bit just for me, what are all the tools that you guys have? I know you guys have Lead Conduit, and I know you have Trusted Form, but that's it.
Yeah, so we consider in home services and home renovation Active Prospect, at least for the installers. So there's two sides, right? You have your lead publishers, lead vendors, lead sources, affiliates. Those are the folks creating the leads, aggregating the leads, and really routing those leads to the buyers, which are usually end installers who are purchasing those leads for their call center to set appointments, demos, and sales. So we work with both sides cohesively. We have a certified publisher network for Trusted Form that's been a big, huge hit this year. We launched that at LeadsCon, and I think we have about 65 certified home improvement publishers in the network. And then once again, we have about 250 installers and growing that are end buyers. And so our technology is really considered a platform. Within that platform, there's a bunch of different products, but really the platform itself is what's used by all the installation companies. What's used by the publishers is specifically Trusted Form. They're using it on their web pages, and when they generate a lead or a publisher generates a lead, a consumer opts in, that Trusted Form certificate is essentially think of it like a Bitcoin or a barcode that travels with the lead all the way to the buyer or multiple buyers. And when the buyer buys that lead in real time, before they accept the lead into their CRM, before they purchase it, they can identify if that lead is a real-time lead, an aged lead, where the lead was created, how it was created, when it was created. All this information that historically, when a buyer is purchasing a lead, they just kind of don't know and never did. Now you can, in real time, know the who, what, when, and where of where the lead was created, while simultaneously helping to reject duplicates, out of area, leads that are on your DNC. We also have a marketplace full of integrations. You can run it up against a litigator scrub. You can validate and verify phone numbers and emails. You can append title, square footage. There's all these different integrations in our marketplace that you can easily add and copy and paste in. And then once again, you can route that data to any endpoint or source that you see fit. And so that's kind of has been the model for home services, home renovation, and we've had a lot of success in kind of compiling all those features into one programmatic offering at a specific unit cost based on volume.
Which I love the fact that Lead Conduit does do those checks on trusted forms. Obviously, I've heard stories of back in the day when roofing, siding, bath companies used to buy all these leads. There was no such thing as a dupe checker. There was no such thing if you even knew if it was a disconnected phone, disconnected email. You're just buying whatever you got. And
correct.
Weren't you a marketing manager before for a solar company?
Yeah, so kind of quick backstory. I think some folks probably know about this. But yeah, I was a buyer for a really large residential solar company from 2013, 2014 to 2019. The company was one of the largest solar companies on the West Coast. It was Sunruns back in the day before they went direct. They used a dealer model. They were one of Sunrun's largest dealers in the state of California. And the company grew from 25 employees to about 1,000 in a few years, 2 to 3 years. We went from installing 25, 30 solar systems to installing 6, 7, 800 in a given month. And the company just was huge. It historically had been an outbound company, dialing for dollars and just calling on data, which surprisingly some people still do. But because of TCPA and litigation issues, we converted to more of an inbound intake, web leads, real-time leads. And so I led the initiative of starting that division, going out there, purchasing leads from different providers. Back then, you had companies like Clean Energy Experts, Lead Genesis, which is still going on today, RGR Marketing, Modernize. And we grew the division from buying, 500 leads to buying 20,000 leads a month. And our call center grew from, 3, 4, 5 people to about 50 to 85, depending on seasonality. And I was buying, $500,000, $1 million in leads a month, and kind of did that for many years, and used Active Prospects platform as my lead management tool. And so saw a lot of success, really fell in love with the brand and the staff and the team. And when that company got bought by private equity in 2016 and again in 2019, I decided to make a move and get out of the home improvement space and got into technology and tech. And I figured that'd be like a longevity play for myself. I'm 45 now and wanted to get in tech, right? I think at that point everybody was like, yeah, tech is great. It's where it's at. And I think that's kind of what people still feel, maybe not as much. But it was the best move I ever made. And thankfully they wanted to get into home improvement, and that's kind of what I do. And my family also owns a roofing company in Los Angeles, so I've sold residential roofing, windows, gutters. So I'm kind of privy to the installation side, sales side, and I think that's helped me throughout kind of this software career and relating to what the ultimate goal is when you buy a lead is to convert it into an installation.
100%. And I actually really like Active Prospect. I like the fact that we got the trusted form. Yeah. So
Did you hear that, Carol?
yes, yes, and I do think a tech is a great way to go. Just curious, as a marketing manager, I
Yeah.
feel like it does really all come down to marketing because if marketing doesn't have leads, then sales doesn't have anything to sell. Installers don't have anything to install. So it's like, what helped you grow from like up to $150 million a year, from what I've heard, or to being sold or bought for that much? Like, what was that? Did you just track a lot of metrics? Was it really just a numbers game? Do you have any sort of, I guess, if you don't remember, that's fine.
Well, no, it's culture. I mean, it's people. That's kind of the main. I think anybody that you meet, we have brands right now. Some of the ones that come off that I can think of are companies like a Zintex, companies like a Leaf Home, companies that are growing significantly and have grown significantly. And there's many others, too many to name. And what it comes down to is culture and people. Like at the end of the day, everybody's installing roofs or baths or windows. How do you differentiate and how do you grow outside of your metro city that you start at, your region, your state? How do you go into multiple states? Well, you need people, you need leaders. And so what I've seen, and I've always talked about this, is it's really culture, right? The right leadership, the right CEO hires the right leadership team. And he puts in place on the operations side, on the purchasing side, on the sales side, the marketing side, he chooses the right leaders, and then he fosters a culture. I shouldn't say she, they foster a culture of winning. And the brands that you see that are growing significantly quickly, and how Horizon did, was because of our leadership. We had a great CEO, we had a great president, and they fostered a culture of winning and success. And you can see it when you go into call centers. I visit a lot of call centers. I try to, at least, with our brands, and you can sense it when you go in a call center. Are people happy? Are the bathrooms clean? Is the carpet like all dingy, or is it nice? Does it smell good? And these are simple things, and people might think these might be silly things, but if you don't have like the basics in your call center of like people wanting to go and feeling like, man, this is where I want to be, you're not going to have a culture of conversion. And that's ultimately what lead gen is, right? You buy a ton of leads, it doesn't mean anything unless you can convert them into appointments. And it doesn't mean anything unless you can get those appointments to confirm and actually be there at the house to demo. And then if you demo but you don't sell, well, that doesn't mean much. And so it's this culture and really kind of KPI driven analysis that home improvement companies have adopted that have really led to the rise of home renovation in the last 10 years.
Okay, so it's definitely about having good people in the right seats. I do agree. I was also curious in terms of, you've been to a lot of call centers. How
Yeah.
many, just if you could tell me, how many leads come through Lead Conduit daily? Do you know? Or is that like
Man, that's a good question. It's
probably a few million?
100 millions. I mean, through lead conduit in all, it's definitely tens of millions, because we have some brands like home services is much different than companies or verticals like insurance, where
Oh, right.
companies are buying hundreds of thousands of leads a day. But yeah, I don't know that number. That's a good question. And definitely in home renovation on a daily basis, it's hundreds, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of leads a day, and then certainly millions a month.
So then what do you see is usually common amongst the people who have a ton of success, like Horizon, like your big companies that you've seen have a nice call center? Like, what do you see is usually that, well, what do you see as that commonality for the successful ones, and what do you see as like some of those pitfalls?
Well, kind of referring back to your last question, culture. Culture is huge. That's like number one. Like the people you have in place, the leaders that you have in place, and their mentality and how they choose and how you foster success and winning. Process.
Oh yeah.
Process is key and crucial, and Sometimes I can be a maverick. People who've worked with me have been accused of being a maverick, which can be disturbing sometimes, but can be, seen as leadership as well. Having a process in place so that even when you do have sometimes, mavericks, that you can conform and you can have everybody do the same process and ultimately, raise the tide. And so that's key, your culture, your process, and I would say those are the two. And then really your KPIs, your data-driven, having a data-driven model of success. So your culture, your ability to monitor that data, those are key.
Okay. I've heard a lot of people talk about culture. Maybe this is just me. What do you tend to see as like the best thing to actually help that culture? Like, would it be retreats? Would it be like fun things in the office? Like, what do you normally see people do to help that culture?
Get people paid. Get people paid. If you're a good call center person, I go to these call centers, there's people making six figures.
Really?
Yeah. You go
Wow.
to call centers across the country, you got companies, Infinity Home Services, there's different call centers. If you are setting a lot of appointments on a daily basis, you can make six figures in home improvement. Some of these bonuses for home improvement on sold deals can be anywhere from $150 to $300 a pop. And so it's not just the sales reps in home improvement who are doing well. It really can be the call center reps. And so when you have a comp plan that is fair, and that is not only fair but can be lucrative, you can have a really big increase in your revenue, because you got to feed the call center team. That's kind of where it all starts, right? Nothing happens unless a consumer clicks and leads generated. Then nothing happens unless you can contact that consumer. And if you contact that consumer and you can't convert it into an appointment, well then to no avail. But really, like, the call center is where everything comes from. And you do see right now in the home service space a lot of MarTech, a lot of AI that's coming out. You have a lot of MarTech companies that are focused on the call center, and a lot of talk of trying to replace labor in the
Oh,
call
yeah.
center. And so that's continuing to happen and will evolve. But yeah, you want to have great call center reps, and if you can get them paid, that's the biggest way to improve culture.
Where do you think AI is going for call center? I know this isn't something that, you know, maybe it's not in the wheelhouse of either of us right now, but I really, really don't think that AI is going to take over any call centers, just because people aren't going to get sick of talking to people. And from what I've heard, anyone who has like an AI receptionist on the front of their company, they usually end up having people be super abrasive to even talking to the agent. Like they want to talk to somebody else. So like, do you see that even happening?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's already happening. You got
Really?
companies like Wave Sales AI. You got companies like Craft AI. You got companies like Rilla, and companies like Balto. These are companies who are using a lot of AI within their systems and teaching call center reps to be more efficient. So the call center won't go away, but certainly the efficiencies.
Oh,
I even heard the other day, I was at the Qualified Remodeler Fast conference, and a contractor mentioned that he went from 40 to 50 sales reps or contact center reps to 10 to 15 in a matter of 6 months, because of his ability to integrate and utilize AI within their call center and their kind of funnel. And so, yeah, I definitely agree. The FAST conference also had, an agentic AI panel. It's called Agent to Agent is the technology or the protocol that people are using. And I've been mentioning it to people. I'm really into Agent to Agent protocol. And I think it's super legit. And just like anything, it has to be refined. I think it would be the equivalent of what we're doing now. Like, Did people think you would have Zoom and do all your business through Zoom or through Google Meet or online? Or podcasts, if people would have said, hey, podcasts are going to be huge and everyone's going to watch podcasts and not necessarily listen to radio. It's just a changing of technology in the era. So yeah, I definitely think it's anything that can make you more efficient, less costly, and make more money and revenue, installers will adopt for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I'm still not really sold on the whole bringing AI into all appointments or like replacing appointment setters. Obviously, we don't have all the context on this fast remodeler guy. Maybe half his team was just sitting around doing a whole lot of nothing, and that's why it was probably pretty efficient for him. But what do you think about like onshore or offshore call centers? I mean, it like what do you think about the difference, or is there any difference in efficiencies? Have you seen anyone doing it well, an offshore call center?
To each his own. I think to each his own. I've seen much success onshore and offshore. I've seen a lot of failures onshore and offshore. So I don't necessarily have an opinion one way or the other. I think you got to do what works for you, and if you have good leadership and management, one could work better than the other, or vice versa, or the same. I don't necessarily have kind of a lot of opinions on that.
Okay. Well, in terms of compliance, because that was also something I really wanted to talk about. I know one of our clients, first ever, and by the way, I love the TCPA litigators. Like they're always willing to offer a
You
discount.
love the TCPA litigators. I haven't heard that one before.
They're always willing to give you a discount. I've never had one not try and give you a discount, but I'm just kidding. I know it's
What do you mean by that?
when they'll send you their initial letter, they'll usually say like, "Oh, it's going to be $1,500, but you can settle it for half off. You can settle it for this much."
Yeah, I don't know if I would use the word love in describing
I'm just
people
kidding.
who do that. Yeah, it's definitely a frustrating part of our business, and I think most marketers or people who are in this business would agree it should be illegal to do what they do.
Yeah.
We have technology that exists to help fight that and support proper compliance and consent. But hey, we live in a new world where everything's digital, and to some degree, Trusted Forms or NIA is digital litigation insurance for digital marketers. But yeah, I used to have to deal with litigators as a buyer, and I still do. When we have customers who have issues, and we do our best to support brands, and it's always something that brands would prefer not to deal with. You can just focus on your business and helping your customers get the product that they're buying.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, Ruben. It's nothing like that. I think if you purposely go out there and hunt for people to try and sue, yeah, that's not a super cool guy type of thing to do. What are
No,
some of
it's
those
not.
ways they've gotten around, or I guess what are some of those compliance holes that people don't realize they have in their funnels, in their marketing? Do you know of any?
There's too many to mention. Some brands we work with are like sieves. Some brands we come across and we connect with initially, same thing. And then some are super tight and efficient. It's everything in between. Marketing and the connectivity between marketing team and sales is a constant journey and battle and war. And the people who can stay in it and can make a career in home improvement on the marketing call center side or customer journey as well as sales, it's not easy. If it was easy, you'd have numerous national brands, right? Right now, how many national brands? Name the national brands in home improvement, Carol.
Probably Leaf Home.
Okay, one.
It's like I can't really think of any others.
ADT,
Right, ADT. I wasn't thinking of all of them.
Terminex, Terminex.
Terminex, right? I feel like you know most of the bigger buyers because those are like your clients.
Well, I'm asking, yeah, there's not a lot, right? I guess my point in
Right.
asking is if it was easy to do what we're talking about, lead gen, marketing, sales, or if you could figure it out easily, or not just figure it out, but figure it out and maintain for years or decades, there would be way more national brands.
Right.
In home renovation, home services, unlike financial services or mortgages or stuff like that, where you're transferring paper and signing notes digitally, in home renovation, home services, there's boots on the roof. There's booties in the home. There's installation, physical labor that has to transpire from the sale, marketing, operationally, and there's trucks that drive out to people's homes. And so that's what's different, and that's what's, I think, what is compelling to me in home renovation and in roofing and siding and flooring and all the verticals and sub-verticals in home renovation, is that what we do in marketing and sales helps employ a bunch of people in operations. And the satisfaction of installing a phenomenal roof or a brand new bathroom or brand new flooring, like that brings joy. Maybe not so much a roof if you need it and you're like, oh shit, I don't have the money to pay for this roof. But like whenever you buy flooring or windows or certain things, like that sense of joy that it brings to people, I mean, that's like a real factor in what we do. And so even though I'm at top of the funnel, MarTech, lead gen, I've been down funnel on the sales side, on the installation side. And I think home renovation and home services is the most beautiful industry in America. I really do. It's so satisfying to work in. I meet so many cool people, from roofing brands like Long Home, Florida Window and Door, Express Flooring. There's so many brands that are out there that are just awesome, family-owned, well-ran, awesome brands that have legacies. It's just an awesome industry to be in.
And it's also a very different beast, and it's not going anywhere. It's not like one day some law will pass for, like they did with lawyers up in Colorado. It's not like some law is going to pass where now all of a sudden you can't sell roofs anymore. It's like somebody needs it. So
Correct.
It's also the best vertical, personally.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad you have this podcast to focus on it. And I really appreciate you kind of having us on and letting us plug Active Prospect and brand ourselves. And I appreciate it.
Of course. Where could someone find you and try and sign up for Lead Conduit?
Yeah, so you can find Active Prospect at www.activeprospect.com. You can reach me at Ruben, R-U-B-E-N, at activeprospect.com, or on LinkedIn at Solar Junkie. And in general, we're a growing home renovation brand focused on MarTech and lead management, compliance, and routing. And if you're looking for more volume, looking to get introduced to sources, feel free to connect with me. And once again, Active Prospect is the brand. So thanks for having us.
And I'll link it down below. Of course, I really do appreciate having you on, Ruben, and I hope
Cool.
you guys find a lot of value in this.
Thank you, man.